I was folding towels on the couch when my son walked into the living room like he already owned the house. Not just walking in casually either. He had that heavy, confident stride people use when they believe they're about to make a final decision for someone else. Bella followed behind him wearing that same tight smile she always used whenever she thought she had the upper hand. For a second, they didn't even look like family to me. They looked like strangers who had memorized my home but forgotten the woman who built it. Josh stayed standing while Bella sat down like she was already comfortable in my place. Then Josh said, "Mom, listen carefully. Bella has debt, serious debt, and we've decided you need to help us clear it." I blinked slowly. "We're talking about around 500,000. He said the number calmly, like he was asking me to split dinner. I thought I heard him wrong at first. $500,000. Then Bella crossed her arms and added, "Honestly, it's not even unreasonable considering you're sitting on a fully paid house while we're struggling." Struggling. I almost laughed hearing that word inside a kitchen with imported marble countertops and a luxury coffee machine that cost more than my first car. Josh looked at me impatiently. "So here's the situation," he continued. "You either help Bella clear the debt or you move out. We need to stop wasting time." Move out? Inside my own house? The house my husband and I spent 32 years paying for. The same house where Josh learned how to walk. The same hallway where I stayed awake carrying him through fevers at 3 in the morning. Now he stood there talking to me like I was some unwanted tenant. Bella leaned back comfortably and said, "You should be grateful we've let you stay this long." That sentence hit harder than the debt. Not because it was cruel, because she believed it. Josh sighed dramatically like I was already making things difficult. "Mom, don't start acting emotional. We're trying to solve a problem." I stared at the folded towels sitting in my lap because suddenly looking at my own son hurt too much. The room felt different. Not like home anymore, like a negotiation table. Josh kept talking about finances, timelines, pressure, legal complications, but I barely heard him after that. My mind got stuck on one sentence. Move out. Not can you help? Not can we talk? Just an ultimatum. Bella stood up and walked around the living room slowly, touching things like she was already planning redecorations. "You don't even need all this space," she said casually. "A smaller place would honestly be better for someone your age." Someone your age. Funny how quickly age becomes a weapon when people want something from you. I looked toward the family photos hanging near the staircase. There was one picture from years ago. Josh smiling at the beach holding my hand after building a crooked sandcastle. Back then he used to cry if I left the room too long. Now he couldn't even look me in the eye while threatening to remove me from my own home. "Say something," Bella snapped. I finally looked at them. And for the first time in my life, I realized something terrifying. My son didn't see me as a mother anymore. He saw me as an obstacle. I nodded slowly. Not because I agreed. Because I needed them calm. Josh immediately relaxed. "Good," he said. "I knew you'd understand eventually." Understand what? That motherhood apparently meant surrendering everything until nothing remained? Bella smiled victoriously and grabbed her purse. "We'll discuss paperwork tomorrow." Paperwork. Always paperwork. Funny how greed loves documents. They went upstairs afterward while I stayed sitting alone in the living room staring at the towels until the fabric blurred together. The house was quiet again, but not peaceful quiet. Threat quiet. The kind of silence that arrives after something breaks. I sat there for a long time remembering all the moments that led here. Because people never become this entitled overnight. The truth is, Josh started resenting me years earlier. The first time was when he was 22 and came to me with a business plan that sounded more like gambling than business. He wanted a huge amount of money immediately. I listened carefully, asked questions. Nothing made sense. Every answer changed depending on the question. So I told him no. Not harshly, not angrily, just carefully. I said I loved him too much to fund something reckless. He exploded. "You never believe in me." That became the story he told everyone afterward. Not that I protected our savings. Not that his idea collapsed 6 months later exactly how I warned it would. No. In his version, I was the cold mother who refused to support her son's dreams. Saying no changed how he saw me forever. Then came his first marriage. Another disaster everyone blamed me for somehow. I noticed problems early, debt issues, lies that didn't quite line up, things that felt off. I suggested slowing down before the wedding. That was it. Just slow down. Josh accused me of jealousy. Said I couldn't stand seeing him happy. The family agreed with him because families usually prefer comforting lies over uncomfortable truth. 3 years later, she disappeared with most of his savings. Nobody apologized to me after that. Nobody admitted I'd been right. Instead, they said I should have stopped him harder. Apparently, I was guilty whether I spoke or stayed silent. That's when I learned something important about family dynamics. Once people decide you're the villain, every action becomes evidence. Then Bella arrived. Beautiful, confident, obsessed with appearances. From the beginning, she expected admiration from everyone around her, especially me. But I've never been good at fake praise. I was polite, respectful, reserved. That alone offended her. One afternoon, she asked me what I thought about her new luxury car. I said, "It's beautiful, just expensive." That was enough. Later, Josh confronted me saying Bella felt judged. Judged. By a single sentence. After that, everything became twisted. If I stayed quiet, I was passive-aggressive. If I spoke honestly, I was negative. Bella slowly convinced Josh that I disliked her. The truth was simpler. I just refused to worship her. And people addicted to validation take neutrality personally. Then came the house issue. Years ago, Josh suggested adding his name to the deed. Just for convenience, he said. Tax reasons. I spoke to my lawyer first. Thank God I did. Because convenience has destroyed more elderly people financially than theft ever could. I refused politely. Josh smiled in front of me, then complained about me behind my back for months afterward. Said I didn't trust him. Said I was selfish. Said I cared more about property than family. Funny thing is, nobody asked why a grown man needed ownership rights to a home that wasn't his. Because once someone frames greed as love, questioning it makes you look cruel. Eventually, every boundary I set became proof of my supposed selfishness. And now here we were. $500,000, or get out. I finally stood up from the couch and walked slowly toward my bedroom. Inside my dresser drawer sat a small folder my late husband left me years earlier. I opened it carefully. Inside were legal documents, trust papers, property protections, letters. I remembered laughing years ago when he insisted we organize everything so carefully. You worry too much, I told him back then. Maybe he didn't worry too much. Maybe he simply understood people better than I did. At the bottom of the folder sat a handwritten note from him. If anyone ever pressures you for this house, don't argue, don't explain. Just follow the plan. I stared at those words for a very long time. Then, for the first time all night, I smiled.